Super hot. Super hot.
SUPERHOT, a fairly simple to understand concept of having to fight enemies with time on your side. But what if it was on Roblox? Wouldn't it just be the same game? Not exactly. This game carries its own story of trying to escape a tall tower, going through each level and fighting red crystal enemies using weapons which they drop after you eliminate them, and having time on your side which you can turn on and off at will. Okay, so it sounds pretty similar, but just trust me on this, it's a pretty fun game. This game was released in June of 2024, making it a pretty recent release, and it's still being updated and improved as time goes on, with speedrun leaderboards and different difficulties, to which I chose normal because I'm nothing more than that. Definitely just normal. Without further ado, let's hop into the dystopian horror that is Hourglass. Oh yeah, make sure to like and subscribe as well. We wake up in a blank room with some boxes, assuming that we just moved into our new house and refuse to unpack everything because let's be honest, you do the same thing. After that we grab our weapon, learn how to slow down time, and get started. Sprinting through the first room, which was fairly open, now we go into the one that is quite small. Like, I can barely move around small. That room was fairly easy, but now we move into a small hallway with a single path. Forward. I ran out of ammo near the end and was forced to use a knife to eliminate the last two enemies. We learn how to lean in the next stage and end up in a very open area with a board to walk across and some enemies on all sides ready to shoot me. But I'm simply built different and destroyed them. The next room teaches us about tripwires, a very rudimentary string attached to a grenade pin. Yeah, they aren't getting me with this. The next room takes me to one of the more confusing ones where the second I open the door, I'm greeted with a bunch of bottles that I'm able to use as weapons. However, because I refuse to use anything other than a gun, I nearly die from my stubbornness, so I just use the bottles anyway. The next stage is yet another very close range map in a maze style, which got kind of confusing as I ran around shooting the enemies, getting backtracked to find another weapon, shooting more enemies, and eventually finding the door. We end up in a storage room with more boxes and shelves, but this time with enemies. Not that many, so it was just another simple room. I did a 360 quickscope on this one guy at the end, so I guess that's something to note. We end up in another maze room, but this time much more wide open and somehow with less enemies. That was because there was a turret right where the door was. So I spent 13 bullets total to get rid of it and move forward, and shh, it's a cutscene. Okay, cutscene over, now I'm gonna punch this guy a little bit, and now we can move forward. Shockingly, that was just the tutorial stages. Now we get into the real game. Super wide open maps with a lot more enemies that we'll see very shortly. We traverse through an office building where every single office worker seems to have a weapon except for James in accounting. He wasn't permitted to have one since the last time he did, things didn't go too well. This section was probably the largest in the game by far, with so many cubicles and more grenade traps than the other rooms. After the office space, we end up in a gladiator ring where the poor performing employees must fight to keep their jobs, and the higher ups with actual weapons get to watch from the sidelines. And it seems like Jerry managed to keep his job. Well done, Jerry. After that, we have to perform one of the hardest tasks yet. Climb some stairs. I don't know who put these boxes on the stairs, but I can guarantee you that it's not OSHA approved. After throwing away my useless weapons with no bullets, we get put on stage to perform some jokes. Turns out they didn't really like them, and so they started swarming the stage in an attempt to throw tomatoes at me. The armed guards simply couldn't stand a chance and got destroyed by the crowd. I ended up running out of ammo halfway through and had to run away to get another gun. That's the last time I tried to tell jokes at an office party. The next map had some guy that was just chilling upside down, and after I'd shot him, he just felt like dancing on the floor for a little bit. He had some insane weapon control though, since he was able to just shoot me and hit me somehow while he was going all over the floor. The stage wasn't too crazy, nor could I really say anything funny, so let's move on. The next stage teaches us about climbing into a vent. Don't say it. After that, we end up right in the middle of a firing range. Man, this place has it all. These guys certainly didn't expect their target to shoot back. After that, we ended up in a bar with an insane amount of enemies with guns. So many guns that I didn't even have enough ammo to take care of them all and died for the first time in this run. The second attempt was a little better, but there was an insane amount of enemies all charging at me at once with virtually no cover for me. The next stage took me into yet another hallway, and then another hallway. But the second hallway was different. This hallway took me into a boss battle. Not really much of a boss battle because I just went in slow-mo and took the boss out pretty quickly. After that, we climb into yet another vent and end up what looks like a turbine room or that one place from the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory movie. And then we had to fight yet another turret. I didn't want to use my new gun, but with no other bullets, I had no choice. Good thing it only took one bullet though, so I didn't have to worry about it. Next, we traverse yet another incredibly long set of stairs. I don't know what's with this building and stairs. Could they just get an elevator or something? After fighting the stair-loving enemies, we end up in what looks like another storage area. I don't know why they decided to put shipment containers inside, but I don't make the rules. We're finally nearing the end. We now end up on a rooftop and traverse a plank across to get another building, go down the stairs, and back inside. Guess we aren't fully done here. In this room, I take full advantage of my scoped AR and take out all of the enemies from where I spawn. After reaching the door, I noticed this. I don't know why this was here, but it just didn't do anything. We do some more traversing outside along these sketchy paths until we make it back inside. For some reason, they just have this massive wall open hundreds of feet up in the air. They tried jumping me towards the end, but I simply punched them in the head and moved on. We ended up going back outside yet again and climbing the tower, but I ended up getting stuck while jumping and fell to my death. After definitely not falling anymore after that, there was another turret that wanted to shoot me, but I had virtually no bullets to use, so I just had to run past it and head into the door. This stage was incredibly confusing as I just had to run through an array of enemies through these wheels that are just suspended in the air. This is one of the most confusing buildings I've ever been in. I even had to watch these two fall to their death after they tried running after me and failing horribly. Going through what looks like a vehicle warehouse, which again confuses me, and who puts cars on the top floor of a building. There's no purpose I literally don't understand. What I forgot to mention was that this is the final stage. All we have to do is fight these enemies and make our escape on this helicopter. However, there are a ton of enemies guarding this helicopter. After successfully eliminating them all, it was finally over. I'd finally made it onto the helicopter and escaped. And that's the end. I don't fully understand the ending, but you might. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. It's a great way to help me out, and I appreciate it as always. Thank you to my members and to Majime for being a tier 3 member. Check out the join button down below and consider becoming a member to gain access to emotes, roles and channels in my Discord, as well as a spot in the credit list at the end of every one of my videos. Thank you so much again for watching. I've been Miko, and I will catch you in the next video.